Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Not come on in. Not come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Okay, my shit's working again. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Y'all, my sleep schedule is still off. my sleep schedule is still off, and it is blowing me. Okay, it really, really is. Like I sleep girl. I went to sleep at like what, maybe almost 4 a.m. Wake up at 1 p.m. Went back to sleep at like 5 p.m. Woke up at 8 p.m. Like I need to make content. And y'all know this is normally a members only, and it will be again next month. Because I missed so much time, I'm trying to make up for it. If my body will allow it, I'm trying to make multiple videos a day, Monday through Friday, for the next couple of weeks. Actually, for the foreseeable future, because I need to go back to Thailand soon. So in order to make that happen, I'm gonna be on my bullshit when it comes to making content. So please, everybody, prepare to be sick of me. But next month, the recaps for the reality shows will go back behind a paywall. For the most part. Y'all know how I kind of go at my leisure with that, but it will be members only for the most part. And I'm gonna continue doing the members only content that kind of covers more stuff that I'm, more, I guess I won't say religious, but y'all know we talk about a lot of different things, mental health. We watch the Shan Booty podcast stuff. We break down interviews in long form. That is going to be behind the paywall. I'll talk about things in, little spurts when it comes to shit like that, like the clips that we see online. But if I want to fully talk about a podcast, that breakdown will happen behind my paywall until I decide to release it to everybody. But that's what I'm on right now. Okay. So I should be back to y'all with at least 2 videos tomorrow. That's the plan. And I'm putting something together so we can talk about the trip, because the trip was awesome and I'm very, happy about my experience and some of the other ladies' experiences that I want to hear what they said, and I want y'all to hear what they said about the trip, the retreat, before we actually get into the recap. And just like the intro to this video, I do want to show you guys the website again, so you'll know where to go to sign up if you are interested in coming to the next retreat. Okay, so you go to the website, right? It's resetbydesignwellness.com. Okay, now you can go /retreats. All right, /retreats /. If you want to do all that, you can just go to the website and go to retreats. And these are the retreats you can currently sign up for. Okay, Mauritius, Tulum, and Riviera Maya couples retreat. All right. Y'all know we just finished Bali. Mauritius is in September and Tulum is in April. So Tulum is the one that's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to it. I will be there, girl. All right. So you guys, if y'all are interested in going on one of the trips, I would suggest going to reserve your spot. You can do payment plans. Okay. You just got to pay your deposit. Get into it, girl. All right. So it's a great situation. We normally have an amazing time. No matter what, Ty and Sakina are on it. Okay. No matter what, we love the vibe of women that we had. It was a larger group this time, and we're hoping for an even larger group for Tulum. And with a lot of people returning from previous retreats. So, I would tell y'all that if y'all are interested, to go ahead and sign up before spots fill up. Okay. I'm just telling y'all. But it's a great time. I got what I needed out of it. I think a lot of the women did. And like I said, I'll do a full form video to get into it, and everything. But yes, girl, we had a good time. We did. I feel like I got some new friends and shit. Love it. All right. So I feel relaxed, child. I also feel tired. I'm tired. Okay? Hold up, y'all. Give me a second. You know, I gotta get my coffee up here. Okay? It's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm here though. I'm here. And I want to get into this. Can you give me some coffee and a water? Yeah, the coffee that I had. Can you heat it up? And give me some water? Thank you. Oh my God. Oh, Dios míos. We're gonna get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm gonna give people a little bit more time to get here because y'all know how the notifications go out. I just posted something on Instagram because I think it's weird that people are it's not weird because there's always gonna be like the people that view things a certain way. Jackie Christie. Y'all know I don't review Basketball Wives, but I do watch. And the only reason I'm watching currently is for exactly what's happening. I have known for years that at some point, Chantel was going to come on that show and embarrass the fuck out of Jackie. I knew it. I knew it. There was no other way around it as far as I was concerned. And I was always waiting on it. I just didn't know that if the show would stay on long enough for that to happen. But by God, that day has finally come. And I think it's so funny the way y'all are on the internet talking about, I disagree with you, Bondi. She's disrespecting her mom. And I just couldn't imagine. And I'm like, you should thank God that you can't imagine. You should thank God that you can't imagine not talking to your mom or not fucking with her because she's a psychopath. The fact to me that y'all really can't seem to understand why Chantel is disrespectful to way Jackie, like to the way, girl, Jackie is so emotionally disingenuous with her children. I could not imagine having a mother that is completely like detached from her emotions when she's dealing with me. In these scenes between the two of them, Jackie is condescending. Jackie talks about her daughter as if she's not her daughter. Like it's very condescending, little girl trying to put me in a box so that people won't take my opinion of you to heart. That's what it feels like. It feels like when somebody knows and fears that their daughter is going to come on the show and tell the truth about them and fuck up their whole fake ass false image that they've been promoting since they got on the reality show. Jackie Christie has promoted this life as if her and Doug have always been happy and she's been trying her best with her children, when the truth of the matter is that woman gives. I was a vulgar, slutty ass degenerate that chased that man until I got him. Okay. And when I got him, I resented my oldest daughter because she did not fit into the new light-skinned, rich basketball wife life that I had created for myself. So I neglected her. Then I created triangulation between her and her sister. Now they don't really get along. Y'all sitting up there talking about, oh, well, Takari even said what Chantel was doing was bullshit. Yeah, I'm not going to believe Takari because you know what usually happens in these situations? When you have an abusive parent, each child feels like they're getting some type of exclusive experience of that abusive parent. It's because the parent makes them feel like the other one got a better version of them. So Takari might feel like because Jackie put Chantel on a pedestal when she was around, that Chantel didn't have as bad of an experience of Jackie as she did. Oh, at least she was there for you. She doted on you, not knowing what it was like for Chantel to be in the fucking house with Jackie and Doug and Lil Dougie and having to be the big sister in the dynamic with little Dougie while your mom's acting like a psychopath and running behind your fucking daddy all the time. Like, just because Takari doesn't agree with what Chantel is doing does not mean that what Chantel is doing is not a direct reflection of Jackie's parenting. I don't care if y'all think it's fake or not. When I'm watching, is Jackie Christie be condescending, talk down on, and Lil Girl, her daughter, automatically trying to invalidate her. What I see is Chantel already coming on this show with very stark boundaries against her mother for good fucking reason. Her mother got on this show and told them women that she would not talk to her daughter if it wasn't on her show that nobody gives a fuck about. I'm not going to talk to her unless it's on my podcast. Jackie, nobody give a fuck about your podcast. Like for Jackie to even say that shit, but y'all gonna glaze over that. Y'all gonna glaze over that. Keep talking about Chantel came down to this lady job. She don't work at the motherfucking post office, bitch. This is a reality show about her life. Jackie has always used her children on this reality show when it was to her benefit. And now y'all are surprised that Jackie is getting embarrassed on this show by her daughter. What other way was she gonna be able to get her mama's attention? This is the only space that she probably could confront her mom and her mom be forced to confront her. It's on that fucking show. You could tell that since Jackie got on Basketball Wives, that's probably all the fuck she cares about is being on Basketball Wives. And you wonder why her daughter decided to come down to Basketball Wives? Where else was she going to be able to confront her mom and get her emotions off? It's obvious that Chantel is angry with Jackie. That's fucking obvious. What's crazy to me is that y'all sitting up here acting like being a terrible mother to your children is something that we should all just stay quiet about. That's not how this is work. That's not how this is going to work anymore. I'm sorry. The days of staying quiet and not telling people that they're shitty parents is over. It is over, my love. Get past it. Because a lot of y'all, to me, be telling on yourselves. Y'all think y'all can treat these kids like shit, and that just because you they mama, thank you, baby, that means that you can keep disrespecting them and they're never going to respond or say anything about it. And they shouldn't, because you made all these sacrifices. Ma'am, you got fucked. I'm sorry. I got to be real with y'all. And that's not to say that people listen. That's not to say people don't love their children, that they don't do their best, but you still, this is a big job and you're going to fuck up. You're going to fuck up. It's almost in the blueprint of society for you to fuck these kids up. The problem is the inability to be vulnerable, be honest, and be apologetic and try to change the way you deal with your children. Respecting their boundaries, giving them the time and space to have their feelings, because healing from what you go through in childhood doesn't just happen all at once. You're never going to get to a point where you have to stop having conversations about some of this shit. It is in the fabric of who you are. You're going to always be coming to these moments where you're unpacking something or realizing something. That's how you actually heal from this shit. So for y'all to think that if these people are going to actually get past it, they're not going to have to go through the moment where her daughter is angry with her, it's because y'all have never gone through the process of trying to heal from some shit. You can't possibly really know what it's like to heal from trauma from your parents if you have not experienced the time where you finally are seeing it clearly and it pisses you the fuck off. I'm sorry. I saw somebody post about it the other day. If you have not gone through the phase of being angry, you are not truly healing. You can ask the ladies, I still have moments where I think about some things and I'm just still flabbergasted. As I look and breathe like the nigga, I think about some things. And I just recently came to something else that I've always thought about. But until I heard somebody say how people purposefully do these things to their children, it wasn't until then that I got mad about some shit that my pa used to do. That it was supposed to be taken as funny. But when I think about it, what it created in me long term is detrimental. I'm fucking claustrophobic because you wanted to play and smother me and shit. That's not something you do to toddlers. It traumatizes them. Like, I'm very highly annoyed at the way y'all defend Jackie and y'all feel like because someone is a mother, that means that they can't be disrespected for all of the times that they've disrespected their kids. And I see y'all in the comments, oh, Chantel needs to grow up. Her mom needs to grow up first, bitch. Her mom needs to grow up first. Her mom has to be an adult first. What Walona said to Penny Mama, and what woman is going to speak for you, bitch? Because Jackie Christie does not act like a grown-ass woman. She does not come to her daughter with real emotions and vulnerability. She comes to her daughter with pride and ego and expects her daughter to bow down to her. Whenever you finally see your parent for who they truly are and you lose some type of respect for them, that shit is not easy to get past. Yes, therapy is needed. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, Jackie Christie is so delulu. I don't know if she can ever honestly fix anything. I think she can perform emotions, and it makes me wonder if she's a fucking sociopath. It makes me wonder if Jackie Christie has any real emotions, or does she use her emotions as a tool of manipulation? Y'all, even the way Jackie Christie acts all like, oh my God, this is so crazy. I've never experienced this. Oh my God, this is so wild. I've never done this. But then is always dressing up like a fucking dominatrix and telling us all the freak nasty shit she likes to do. Y'all have y'all never paid attention to the personality type that we're dealing with here? Jackie is disingenuous all the time. She is not emotionally honest all the time. I could not imagine having a mother that is never emotionally honest. I could not imagine. That would feel like that would feel so traumatizing for her to always be fucking faking and doing phony shit and trying to act like she's above something all the time. That would infuriate me. I would not be able to be around that lady if I knew for a fact who she was, because I grew up in a house, and whatever her mistakes were, I end up having to be the one that catches the consequences of her mistakes. That's how parenting works, y'all. And a lot of y'all keep wanting to say stupid shit to me about me not being a parent as if that matters. I need for y'all to understand that I don't have to be a mother in order to know when you're a bad one. And because a lot of y'all are bad parents because y'all really didn't want to be parents, but you thought that's what you should do. A lot of y'all abuse these kids. Y'all don't want nobody to tell y'all that shit. Because those of us that knew we might abuse kids decided, you know what? I would just rather not abuse kids. I would just rather not be the abusive parent that I had. I would just rather not. And then y'all get mad at motherfuckers because they made better decisions than y'all. And then y'all get mad at me and want to say all crazy shit in comments talking about, oh, you're not a mom and all of that. But I'd be fucked up if I said, yeah, and if I was one, I would still be a better one than you. You don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to say that. So stop saying crazy shit to me about how I'm not a mom, so I can't say that Jackie Christie is a terrible fucking mother. Are y'all okay or not? Because it's giving y'all are not okay. But please understand that I'm going to say the fucked up shit back to you. Please understand that. That's where I'm at right now, girl. I'll go back into a fluctuation where I'm hamdulillah, and I don't give a fuck and all of that. And I'm cool with just letting the moments pass. And oh, girl, I'll get back to that spot. But first, I'm going to have to remind some of y'all, I don't know who the fuck you talking to, but I don't know why you following me talking to me like that. That's wild. That's wild. Because, like, I don't have a lot of friends because I will get people to fuck together. This is common knowledge to most people that know me in real life. Don't make me be this person. My sleep patterns are off. Okay. You say Jackie is disingenuous, and so is Chantel. And I will always feel like anything you say about Chantel, you need to be able to directly align that right back to Jackie. You can't expect for people's kids to be more mature than them. And that's what y'all do. Y'all always expect the kids to be more mature than the parents. And I don't feel that way. And I've known since Jackie, all of that shit came out about Jackie in the first few seasons of her show because of the way she decided to go at Drea. The first season of Basketball Wives LA, they decided they was gonna drag the fuck out of Drea because they was jealous of her, acting like everybody wasn't a hoe running behind a basketball player. Some of y'all just got him early and married him. But everybody was a hoe running behind a basketball player. Stop fucking playing with us. We saw Love and Basketball. We know what happened with Quincy McCall, okay? The one that ends up being a wife is the one that did the most work to get the dick, okay? And then you want to turn around and look at every other woman like, oh, she's a family breaker upper. she's a what y'all call them? What y'all call them? Y'all say they break up houses and shit. A home wrecker. That's what y'all call them. That's so funny to me. Girl, your husband is a hoe. Stop. Girl, your husband is a hoe. The fuck? It don't take much to break a home then, bitch. It was already shattered if this is all it took. One cooch is all it took. Stole your husband. Now you lonely. Okay? Oh my God. For real. No, girl. Your husband has a girlfriend. Like, stop playing with us. But the way they did Drea, y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, but they pulled up Drea's info, y'all. They just put this shit on like Hulu or some shit. And I started watching the first few episodes, girl. The way they judged Drea, really, it re-infuriated me. Like, they judged Drea from day one. And it's just so fucking aggravating. So at some point, they bring up how Drea had that charge on her for neglect. Then they started pulling up Jackie shit, and Jackie's daughter came to the forefront. And then we found out that Jackie was terrible and abusive to her daughter. She was always like low-key starving the daughter at some point because she wanted her to lose weight. She was always talking about her skin tone because she's the darker of the children. Like, she abused her daughter. Her daughter wrote a whole book about it, came on the show. Evelyn's always the one that wants to bring this shit to the forefront. I believe it was Evelyn that first time. Okay. And that's because Evelyn feels like, bitch, I'd be a better, if anything, bitch, you might have had a husband for a long time, but I'm a better mother than you. Okay. Because sometimes women like Evelyn that leave the niggas, yeah, they end up being better mothers in some respect. I won't say a lot because it did give Jackie was right when you said you build a whore. Because how the fuck she ended up with Jason? Yeah, okay. Listen. I can only call it, I'm calling it how I see it. Don't be mad at me. I'm calling it how I see it. Okay? I'm calling it how I see it. And when you watch that shit, hold on, season 2, after Jackie and Laura got into it, they started digging. Okay, it was that too. I feel like it was just karma for the way that they went at Drea. But I do remember that Laura was on her big bullshit back then, child. Everybody needed somewhere to point their energy because they was mad at they cheating ass, disrespectful ass husbands. So we got to fight the women on this show to get our aggression out because these niggas is disrespecting the fuck out of us at home, right? That's what's happening. I don't care what anybody's talking about. Because hoes was real unhappy and acting like they was happy just because they had money. And I keep trying to remind y'all that money don't make people happy. It helps. It helps. In this system, it truly does help. But at the same time, there are a whole bunch of people with a lot of money and they're so unhappy. And Basketball Wives and all of these shows will show you how these women will be in big ass houses, lonely, in big ass nice houses, going on nice vacations with niggas that they cannot have a good time with because them niggas is always cheating. You always making up for something. The niggas is always talking to you crazy, always holding over your head what they pay for and what they do, making you feel like you need to prove something. So you got to fold 5,000 pounds of clothes and shit on Instagram Live to prove to everybody that you are worthy of being with a rich man and all of this bullshit, as if just your mere presence doesn't upgrade this nigga expeditiously. Like, a man standing next to any woman usually gives him some type of credit in one way or another. Like, be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. Okay. But we could talk about Jackie Christie another time. I just wanted to intro y'all and give everybody a chance to come into the room. But I say all that to say that we could transition right over to Love and Marriage Huntsville because it's the same thing. Bitches doing, doing wild, crazy, betraying yourself ass shit for what y'all think family is supposed to be. Quote, 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 unquote, unquote, unquote. I'm just saying, y'all pedestalize fucked up things like relationships and families where the women are constantly betraying themselves and the men are acting like children, but masquerading that they're protectors and providers, and you ain't seen them not protect or provide not a goddamn thing. Not on their own. Not on their own. Okay. And I want to let y'all know that Arionne has not shown up yet. I believe she will show up, but she has not shown up yet. They talked about her. They had pictures of her up there, but she has not materialized on the show. But it gives that's the last card Martell has to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to bring her on here so that she can be the new main woman while he goes and cheats on her with other random women. Cause I'm not like, listen, I'm not the type of person that's about to get up here and act like, oh, he care about her, he love her. He needed some time, girl. No, because as long as it was an option for him to have Mel, he did not want her. Because he would have married her as soon as him and Mel divorced, if that was the case, if he really loved her and wanted to be with her. Y'all see what happened with Daddy Braxton over there. A lot of the times when these men really do just want the woman, it happens ever so often. They marry those women as soon as they divorce the previous wife. They get married to the side chick and legitimize her. They have to legitimize her very quickly because that's the only thing that will allow people to get to respecting their relationship sooner is if you marry her. You not marrying her means that she was just the fuck and you just don't want to give up on it because it's the best situation that you have, meaning that she's still willing to beg, borrow, and steal for your dick and your affections and your validation. It don't matter how much you disrespected her. She will continue to put you on a pedestal and think that being with you means that makes her special in some type of way. When really, all I can see with Arionne is that the way she has been willing to play herself out for this man, meaning that at every turn, this man has treated you like shit, like dirt on the bottom of his shoe. He's still not going to be faithful. You're just going to be in Mel's role. That's why he helping you through through nursing school, right? All this time you could have been doing nursing, but you weren't. And now he's trying to help you get on your feet because he wants you to be somebody that he can milk. And he knows if you become a nurse that you're going to be able to get a nice check and then you'll have to be at work like Mel was. And then you'll be Mel. You'll be Mel. You'll be being milked on all fronts and still getting cheated on. You won't be the fun, side chick anymore. The way he relates to you will change. And then you'll get it. Ba-bum, she'll have the moment, but it'll be too fucking late because you've done so much for so long to be this nigga's side chick. Like, for my side piece, you didn't did too much. And I feel sorry for your kids. I feel sorry for your daughter specifically because I feel like the example you set for your daughter is going to end up with her being in some similar form of a fucked up relationship. Y'all don't be wanting to deal with that. But when y'all betray yourselves, especially publicly for these men over and over again, your daughters see that firsthand. And what that teaches them is to make those same type of internal sacrifices for a man. My mama did it, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I know she probably don't care. She probably one of them hoes that will treat the other children like shit because she not with the daddy no more. Like, because there are those out there. Right, Jackie Christie? Y'all get mad. Y'all mad at the daddy that, really broke y'all heart. So y'all mistreat the child. Yeah, I know some of you hoes. Yeah, I'm not coming up off. I don't really give a fuck. I think some of y'all deserve to be shamed for being bad parents. And I think you'll be fine. Bitch, I think you'll be okay. All right. What else is going on? So yes, Scott's 1.0. That means Tisha and Marceau. Now I went and got this one specifically because they tried to play on our top. And I told y'all nobody likes to play on our top more than Carlos King and Tyler Perry. Okay, those are two people that have mastered playing on our fucking tops, right? I don't know if y'all have ever paid attention. Tyler Perry will leave you with a cliffhanger and you'll come back the next episode and it will all have been a lie. Every time. Okay. And then Carlos over here, Carlos will always have parts that he puts in the super trailer that you never see in the season. These niggas don't like us. Okay. These niggas do not like us as their viewership. They need us, but they do not like us, man. And I do feel somewhat abused through their content. Okay. I feel re-triggered. I feel like when you scare somebody gonna hit you, so you like do like this before they even really hit you, and all they did was put their hand up. That's how I feel with Carlos and Tyler Perry. Y'all are abusive, okay? This is how I feel about y'all through y'all's content. How y'all make me feel as an emotional, like there's no real satisfaction a lot of the times. Y'all think about how many times during the history of Love and Marriage Huntsville, it's been 10 seasons. think about how many times they made you feel like something was fitting to happen or something was about to come out and it never did. Like, it's like somebody getting you turned on. Women, how many times have you wanted to punch a nigga in a dick because you was about to come and then he fucked up your nut and then he came? Has that, like, it's that feeling. That's the feeling. You want to fuck these niggas up after you have gone on an emotional roller coaster with a gay man. Just playing. I'm just, come on, y'all. Don't get all sensitive in the comments with me, okay? I'm just playing. Y'all know I love y'all. All right, please. Vivid description, but I sometimes I have to be very, very vivid with my explanation of things. Okay, I have to get the point across the way it's marinating up top. Forgive me, okay. Letitia is talking to their son MJ about how Marceau went to college for girls because his son was like, man, nobody's going to school for girls, and she was like, child, yo, that's what your daddy did. Okay, I think at this point the kids know their daddy ain't shit. I don't know if y'all peeped it, but it's giving the kids know, yeah, he hearing shit, but he really ain't shit. And I think that's funny because we see later in the season, there's a part of the super trailer where there's a conversation that Jalen is having with Maurice, where he says he went to Marceau for the father figure because he did not see Maurice as a true father figure. And I'm like, because Maurice is incapable of being emotionally honest and vulnerable, everything he does is about pride and covering shit up. Like, he just knows how to pretend very well. But once you start to see how inconsistent he is and how full of shit he can be, you just start to pick up on it that he's never really being honest. Like, and if he is being honest, his honesty is usually being weaponized to hurt somebody. But he loves to portray himself as this good guy. So it's like this balance between trying to be devil's advocate for everybody, but then still not having any real true integrity while constantly promoting it as if you have all of this integrity, but you don't. It doesn't really add up when we think about the way you talk versus how you act. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting to tap into the fact that Maurice is the older brother, but Marceau is the one that really gave off father figure vibes. Okay. But then I also feel like that's probably only because you're not really his kids. And I think his kids will have a different feeling about him. I think his kids, will have, their own set of negative feelings about their father based off the way he treated their mother, because they're going to be the ones to have seen that up front, close and personal, how Marceau really handles Tisha, how he really talks to Tisha. And I think we all can see how Tisha can be annoying. And I feel like, don't we all know women like Tisha that their damsel in distress armor is their way of being feminine, and they take it to this degree of betraying themselves, but also like actively being obtuse so that their husbands will feel powerful and they can be this damsel in distress. Like, those women are you got to be careful around those women, because they will always put themselves in the position of a victim, even when they have the power within their own hands to do something. They will still want to be a victim, and they will still want to call on people for emotional labor. And I feel like that's what Tisha kept trying to do with Mel. Like, and she tried to do it with Kimmy too. Like, this trying to get your friends to do this emotional labor that you're too scared to ask for or demand from your husband. Like, girl. But anyway, I'm just, y'all know how I get. Wanza is now allowed to be on set again since Mel is gone, and she comes over to the house because once again, she wants to come and question Marceau about whether he was cheating, because y'all know during the break, Martell and his side piece did an interview with Maurice and Marceau's alleged side piece. Let me see if I can find it. just so we can see a little snippet of it right quick, right fast. Because you know niggas like to come and delete stuff, but I don't think he deleted it. I don't think he deleted it. No, he did not. It's on Arionne. Okay. What's up, y'all? Dun dun. Like, nigga, why y'all gotta be so dramatic? Oh my God. Hold up. When my side piece. I hate that that's now stuck in my head, but that's the song that they played when they posted it on the blog. So I can't get it out my head. With my side piece.
Okay.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
So originally when you first met him, did you know that he was married? Did he have a ring on?
I don't remember him having a ring on,
Okay.
but the way he was moving, I assumed, and I picked up on the speculation of it.
He had somebody, you didn't know he was married, but you just know that it was another significant other. Because he been with, how long he been with Tisha, Martell?
What, about 16 years?
16, 17 years?
He would never take me anywhere other than that building. So,
Dang,
obviously,
Martell.
he had something going on. So, like, and then we him feel like I got this business building. Why would I get a room? Like,
But Martell, is that his business building? I didn't.
No, it's Maurice's.
Oh.
Yeah, Maurice's.
And you gonna let your brother use your to get a quick little pump.
Yeah, have a good time.
majority of the time, Maurice would be there. Actually,
So did you see Maurice with another woman?
Or
was he there?
Let me ask you this. Hold up, wait a minute. So you mentioned a couple times Maurice being there. So did you and Maurice and you Marcel do something there?
We didn't do nothing then at the time. But with it being Maurice's building, I feel like Maurice was his lie, his alibi.
Oh,
Because
Okay. That's what brothers.
Yeah, he couldn't do that without Maurice. Maurice is always there.
okay.
Okay. But Maurice wasn't necessarily there with the woman. Okay, that you've seen.
He did meet a friend.
Oh,
Oh, right. You did tell us
Whenever
that.
we
Okay.
hang out, like it would just be me, him, Maurice. Maurice just be like chilling out in front. I don't know. So I think there was a lot in together. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we together, we doing some business.
Okay.
That's what me and do though. That's what we do.
You know, like you
Stop.
Oh, my bad.
So-
you edited that part out.
No, we're not. We're gonna keep it all. We're not editing nothing out, Martell. That's what me and do.
That's what me and do.
So me and do what you mean? Like elaborate a little bit. Tell us. That's what me and do.
Well, I think a person who's cheating, they always got to have
an alibi.
an alibi. They got to, like if you got a brother, if you got a friend.
So what was your alibi with us? Like what was it? What when we were dealing with each other back then? What was your alibi? What did you used to say?
He was
I'm with Maurice.
him.
With Marcel. I'm with
It makes sense.
with my other guys.
That's what they did to each other.
Yeah, right. We looked out.
And you didn't go home, right?
Oh.
You went home every night.
Every night. And I'm dirty.
And I was not trying to keep you. That's
That was so weird to me. Like, what do y'all want? Brownie points because this nigga went home? That's where he lived. That's where he lived. I hate when y'all give brownie points for that. And I get it. Like, there's a level of I'm not going to upset my partner by not coming home. But the truth of the matter is, if you were to not come home, you would probably be being more honest with your partner than you are making sure that you get home so that you don't upset them. That's what that's about. Like that doesn't mean you actually care about them. That just means you don't want to upset your situation. Fuck out of here.
is what it is. Okay. So how many times did you probably do you think you seen Marcel? Because you lived in Birmingham, so you came.
Hold up.
Making me feel at least
Yeah, they go
good enough for me to pull up and be like, hey.
And be
Which wasn't a lot.
okay. So tell me about the Vegas trip. Let's talk about Vegas.
Yeah, that's what I want you
Martell.
Oh, sorry. So let's pull out of credit one and let's go to when I met you.
Right.
And I met you in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think Marcel, he flew you out.
Yeah, he did.
Marcel, myself, and Mark.
So pause. So when he flew you to Vegas, he had somebody else get your flight. He had somebody else send you them. Like, what was it?
No, he sent my flight information directly sent to me through the airlines.
Okay.
So, really, he do a good job in that.
Being tracked.
Yeah, being tracked.
I mean, that's what you got to do when you're married.
Right. So,
And I hate to, it's not about us.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What you
No,
saying?
I don't want to talk about that. Let's get back to when y'all met. Okay. Vegas. Let's tell us about the Vegas trip. So Martell, first of all, who was on the trip?
Me, Marcel, and Maurice, we were on the trip in Vegas. And,
Okay.
yeah. I went out there
Why did y'all go? What was like?
to gamble, to have a good time.
What did y'all tell your wives? What did you tell your wife?
We going to Vegas. It ain't too much
And
to say.
it was a guy's trip.
Yeah.
What did you tell me? You laughing, baby?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what you told me?
I know. I'm going to Vegas.
Y'all all was in a room together. How did that work out?
It was me, Maurice, and Marcel.
Marcel.
Marcel in the same room, and then he had his own situation.
You had your own room with your own bitch.
He has no, he didn't have it. He came to gamble. He gambled
The
like
same thing I did today.
he gambled majority of the time, and then he showed his face when we was like kind of exploring and stuff. But for the most part, Martell was nowhere to be found. I'm not gonna lie to you, he was not. But when he was supposed to be there, I promise you, he was there, and I really do.
That's a mini red flag, but we'll talk about that later. So
Oh, you missed what she said? She said what? You missed what she's saying?
she said you were nowhere to be found, Martell.
But then what?
But what
I said when I needed him to be there, when he's supposed to be there, he was there. Like it's certain things that happened that I really, really do appreciate that he was there.
So tell me about something that happened that you appreciate he was there.
So we ventured out from Vegas.
Okay.
And we went to Ross. I went to Ross.
Okay.
But I remember I wanted something in particular that I wanted to purchase.
Okay.
And I was going purchase my shit. I didn't care.
Okay.
And then Martell was like, "You from out here? You need to make her pay. You need to pay for your stuff. My stuff. Why she pay my stuff?" And Marcel was like, it kind of threw him off, and he was like, "Okay, he did it, but
he worked with Monaco. You can't expect.
He wasn't
manager of Monaco, Martell.
So you can't expect him to be paying.
I mean, but if you flew me out here,
right?
My flight
and see, Martell had enough sense to know to be like, pay for like. Martell knew,
but also he knew what he had going on, so he was also like. Keep in mind, I also told you I was fucking with him because I fuck with him. Like I'm not gonna go entertain another man.
I think.
And I'm a very respectful woman. You.
Did that make you feel some type of way? Because I wish we would be together, Martell. You wouldn't even be doing all that though. You got irritated. That's crazy, Martell.
Very much so. Well, it depends on what man he is. He might have been a very wealthy white man.
No, it was a white.
I'm not being with a very wealthy white man, Martell. Stop playing.
I'm a very respectful woman.
Or maybe you mean
for no purpose to you. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna like go and talk to anybody else. I'm not gonna do anything extra. So I felt very disrespected when he even offered that to be an option to even go do it.
He's probably trying to see your vibe. He's trying to see if you were going to do it. I think it was like a test. I think you passed the test.
Even if it was a test, why would you offer it to somebody who?
Because that
makes sense.
Y'all was up at credit one without a bed.
So he thought
yep. That's because bullshit. So he thinking she didn't even make me get a hotel, and we've been at credit one without a bed. So I'm gonna just see what she on. She might.
Yeah, but you passed the test. You don't think it was a test and she passed the test? Like I'm a respectful woman.
But Martell, so okay, wait, forget all that. Why was you in the same room with Maurice and Marcel? Like I don't understand. Like Martell had his own room. Like were you comfortable? Like what's up?
Excuse me, we had been out the whole entire day. So when it's time to go to bed, I'm not really thinking of it. On top of that, too, we in Vegas. You get tired. So I'm like, okay, we're going to lay down and go sleep. But I got drunk. And I was having sex with Marcel and then Maurice. I didn't have sex with Maurice. Like, it was...
Oh. So Marcel got up and then Maurice came and started...
So it's like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's what was supposed to happen. Now we're here.
Did y'all use protection?
Be real about it.
I can't remember.
You can't remember that?
We drank. Like I really, I can't remember.
So you had sex with Marcel and Maurice back to back, and not even sure if y'all used protection.
But
okay, so let's go back at credit one.
I'm sure we did. Yeah, we did there.
Okay,
so I'm sure we did.
Okay,
but with me being in that mindset and me being lit, I'm pretty sure we did because they are so.
So Martell didn't sneak in there.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Martell, did you sneak in there?
No, I ain't got.
Martell was gambling the whole time. I'm trying to tell you. I'm so serious.
Martell, what were you doing in Vegas? What did you do in Vegas? Did you?
I gambled.
And what else, Martell?
I went to the club.
You okay?
He went to the club with us.
Yeah. Were you with any women in Vegas? A woman? Did you?
It's not about me.
Oh shit, y'all. Part two.
I'm really trying to tell you. I really remember. We all went to the club. All three of us.
Okay, so that's enough. Y'all get what we putting down, right? So that's what everybody's talking about, right? And this was after Tisha came on the internet and said that Martell was gay. All right. Like everybody knows Martell sleeps with men, you know. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm more inclined to believe that girl fucked Maurice and Marceau than I am to believe that Martell is going around having sex with niggas. And that's not because I don't believe it, because he very much gives gay for pay. I'm just saying he definitely gives that vibe. Like, you know, if somebody was offering enough money and nobody would find out, he would absolutely do it. I ate before I came up here, but I still feel like no, I'm not rushing to believe that he was fucking with dudes as much as I'm rushing to believe that that lady absolutely bended over and busted it open for those two brothers. And I believe that that's something that they've done. I do. I believe that that's something that they probably did since they were old enough to fuck. They were probably, and then also I feel like them doing it in that way is something Maurice would do, because Maurice is the type of dude that wants to have all reasonable deniability when he's cheating. And the best deniability he could ever have is the woman being flued out through Marceau. So he can always be like, that was Marceau. She was there for him. That had nothing to do with me. But you knew, and your brother knew, that at some point y'all was going to tap and y'all were going to, you know, one person was going to go out and one person was going to go in. I could absolutely see you wanting so much plausible deniability and doing it in such a way. But the truth of the matter is you absolutely probably, you know, cheat on that lady and cheated on her at this moment too. Hold up, y'all. I'm pulling out my little leg thing. That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing about Maurice that makes me feel like he is being faithful. There's nothing that makes me feel like he's being faithful. Like, I don't know. Girl, I don't know where y'all got that from. Huh? What you mean? What are you saying? No, it looks brown on there. And I thought it looked great when I put it on. It looked green? I don't know. It is definitely showing up as brown up here, and it didn't look brown. They're saying hi, Lyric. Okay. Lyric says hello. Okay, so then Tisha says something about how she and Marceau communicate in a way that they understand each other, and her mom doesn't need to do all of this. Girl, bullshit. Y'all are just doing the same shit over and over again. Where you use your mom to get the questions answered that you're scared to ask yourself. Like, you don't want to upset him because he emotionally blackmails you, I'm sure. So yeah. Babe, can you do me a favor and get that bra off of my plant, please? Anyway. Killing my damn plant. Anyway. Marceau knew what Martell was saying. She says Marceau knew what Martell was saying wasn't right. But he's her protector, and he has protected her over the years. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what Tisha was talking about when she said that Marceau protects her. Like, I don't know what she means by that, because to me that sounds like somebody saying something that they know isn't true. Girl, I feel like that man ain't never really protected you on this show, but you know better than me, which makes me feel like you might be saying that there's something that you did that he protected you from. Like maybe you actually did cheat on him, and when he was hinting and joking about it, he was actually serious, but he didn't want it to really come out because then that would be embarrassing for him. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. And then he could frame that as him doing you a favor, as if he hasn't been cheating on you this entire time, allegedly. But yeah, it absolutely feels like there's a possibility here that she could have done something that he needs to protect her from. And so yeah, she's like, he's protected me throughout the years, when we've never really seen that on the show. We've seen him play you out, invalidate you, embarrass you, choose male side over yours, get active with Martell any other time over foolishness. But he says that you fucked the homeboy, and he just sits there. Yeah. I'm sorry that if you want to feel protected in that, if you feel like that's enough, I'm not going to argue against it. So Scott's 2.0, Maurice and Kimmy are giving Monster a conversation about responsibility. Once he goes to college, and Maurice then asks him, had he heard about his DUI? And Monster says his friends told him, and they joked on him about it. And then he asked how they felt once the DUI was dismissed. He was like, yeah, they didn't have a lot to say then, did they? Yeah. And I'm just like, you are so out of touch and so emotionally disingenuous, Maurice. I feel like it's going to be very interesting to see how your son turns out and how he relates to you. And I realize now that the reason why he wanted to be with his mom is because his mom would be emotionally available to him. You're not emotionally available to anybody. You're not emotionally available to Kimmy. You're not emotionally available to him. You're not emotionally available to anybody. You might be emotionally available to yourself and maybe to prostitutes that you have conversations with when you're, paying them for their time and attention. But outside of that, and that's just, a joke. Don't take it too seriously, sir. Because I know how people be liking to, I know how y'all be liking to go down to the courthouse on motherfuckers for making jokes on y'all. So everybody just calm the fuck down. Okay, it was a joke. Okay, put that in your little briefcase. Okay, this is why I kept my shit behind the paywall, because these niggas don't know how to take the critiques. They get real emotional about the critiques and shit. Okay, and it's just a joke. But just all in all, I'ma say my opinion of you and the way you move. I believe that you are probably a cheater. I can't know this for a fact, but it's my opinion based on how you move. I feel like I'm critically thinking and deducing that you somebody that lady can't trust. I mean, sorry, I hope y'all be all right. I know how y'all be all upset and wanting to tussle with people. Get your ass off TV. That would be a better bet. But y'all won't keep coming back to us. You drink all my water? You could have poured some more since you drank it all. No, you could have died. Next time, refill my shit. I could have been about to die. You left my daughter for dead. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get back. Okay. So, thank you. So, I think it would be very hard for me to respect my dad if he was Maurice. Because to me, as soon as your parent does some shit that makes you question them as a person and you realize they full of shit, meaning like they promote a certain image to you, but they don't live up to that, meaning like you see the fact that you see the cracks in the integrity they claim to have. When that happens, I feel like it's so hard for you to really respect your parents after that. And I think Maurice doesn't realize how he's really being seen and perceived by his sons. Maurice then hold up. So he asked that stupid question as if, see, people don't care when the truth comes out. Yeah, Maurice, I'm sorry, buddy, but nobody really cares that the DUI was dismissed because we are not stupid. We understand that people get DUIs dismissed all the time, especially if you can say, oh, the state law changed and you're not supposed to use the type of instrument that you used in order to take the test. So now it's going to be thrown out. It doesn't mean that you weren't drunk. It doesn't mean that you weren't also out cheating on your wife when that happened. Because see, that's what we're actually worried about. People aren't really worried about your DUI as much as they should be. They're more so worried about the fact that it seemed as if you was out late last night. And then probably when you were on your way home at noon o'clock the next day with the same clothes on from the night before, you were caught and got a DUI. It more so seems as if you were cheating and you were out all night and you didn't come home. And at least Martell went home. Like, my God. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you and Kimmy must have some open relationship that y'all refuse to tell us about, which she knows you're going to sometimes not be coming home. And we understand this, but we're going to act like we have an issue when it comes to the reality show because we want to stay on the reality show, even though we hate the way people criticize us from being on the reality show. Okay. Marceau is building Kimmy's new restaurant because y'all know everybody loves to start a new business. Okay, so she's building a new restaurant, but she says Marceau is always building shit hella slow. I think he builds especially slow for family. That's why Tisha is still in that tight, small ass house that she was in. Kimmy brings up that Chris said that having side chicks sign NDAs was something that Marceau and Maurice would do. When Chris said that in order to throw that shit off of him and throw it on to these niggas, now Kimmy is upset about that. And I don't understand why. Like to me, I just kind of feel like if you're going to be with lying, cheating, possibly, if you're going to be married to possibly lying, cheating ass men, why don't you just come to Jesus about it? Like, understand that it's going to happen. Don't put anything past them and don't make fights with people when they say things that are probably true about them. If you have to actually go to him and ask him about it because you're not sure if it's true or not, if you actually have to go to him and ask him, I think it's stupid for you to continue to have these moments, Kimmy, where you get mad at other people for what they're saying about your husband when you yourself don't trust your husband. It's wild to me. And she continuously does this. You defend him out in front of everybody like it's not on camera. And then in private, you ask him these questions so that he can invalidate whatever the rumor is. Like, to me, it's giving, you're mad that other people don't trust him, but you don't trust him either. That's perplexing to watch. It's very, very weird to watch. This is an example of what I would like to call, betraying yourself. When I say, women betray themselves or people betray themselves in relationships, this is a time where I feel like Kimmy is betraying herself. You don't trust him. He doesn't answer questions in a way that should make you feel like you can trust him. But yet and still, you argue and fight other people about the way they view him not being trustworthy. Like as if it's not obvious to everybody. Okay. But Kimmy brings up that, and Kimmy asked him if he has a side chick. He was like, so have you had a side chick sign an NDA? And of course, they edit it to make it seem as if he's giving pause, and we go to commercial break. When we come back from commercial break, he says, I have never had a side chick sign an NDA. I've never had no one sign an NDA, which sounds like, yeah, no, I haven't had any of my side chicks sign an NDA, but I've had a side chick. The way he phrased the question, that's what it says. So do y'all remember when I told y'all maybe a couple of episodes ago to believe when people do shit like this, when they tell you something, it's because they have to tell the truth some type of way, because holding lies is really hard. I know y'all don't think it's hard, but science tells us for the human brain, keeping up a lie is very difficult. So they have to find ways to let the truth out, and then they can, take it back after and act like it didn't happen. But at least their brain got to release the truth. That's just how humans work, from what I understand. I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong, but I feel like I'm right about this, because the way he just said that shit to me and then validated it again, looking at her like, yeah, I ain't never had no side chicks do no shit like that. Like as if he didn't understand what was wrong with what she said. Okay. I'm gonna need for y'all to get over the fact that I put a hat on. Like, yeah, it's cold in my house. It absolutely is. Like, get over it. Like, can we focus? Like, this is weird. Okay. How many comments y'all gonna put about me putting on a goddamn Scully in my house? Like, if I was hot, obviously I wouldn't have it on. Y'all know I get hot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what we doing? Like, what we trying to bring attention to shit for? Like, I needed to go pick another hat for y'all? Like, what the fuck? I couldn't find my slimmer one. This is the one I picked up. This is the one I could find. All right. Y'all wanted me to be late? What y'all want? Okay. My God. So the way Kimmy was laughing, it was giving, I'm laughing to keep from crying. And the way he gets upset because she actually questions him, he always does this. Whenever she questions him, he always acts as if he's so offended by her asking the question, but he always answers in a way that can leave reasonable doubt at all times. Okay. So y'all, Destiny, dude, stop eating. You're bothering me. So Destiny is trying to sell us some candles. Okay. I don't know if y'all have bought her candles or not. I've heard good things. Okay. We want the women to make their money so that they can stop doing illegal shit and getting arrested. Okay. So y'all buy her candles. So Martell says that he's thinking about bringing on Destiny as an agent. And I'm like, oh, so he has a business now. He's figured out a way. And, instead of putting all his energy into destroying Mel's life, now he's trying to put some of his energy into rebuilding his own life. And look how quickly things happen for him. Isn't that nice? You guys, if only these niggas could apply themselves, and instead of putting all their energy in trying to destroy some woman, think what they might accomplish. So Martell says that he's trying to get Arionne through nursing school. He says if she keeps playing her cards right, she's going to get that ring. He said his previous relationship made him call her a peasant, but he doesn't feel that way about her. She's a good girl and a good mother. Destiny says that Lance announced that he had a new baby on social media after he texted her Happy Thanksgiving, which was weird because they hadn't been talking. She tells him he's wrong for making a video interviewing Marceau's alleged side chick. All right, so that's the notes. Let's break this down. Destiny and Martell's relationship will forever be weird to me. I don't give a fuck what Destiny is talking about. There is always an underlying insinuation that these people have fucked and will fuck again. Martell finally deciding to pour into Arionne. I told y'all at the beginning of this live that was just because who else is he going to do it to now? And she's just going to be the new Mel. He's going to put her through school so that he can start milking her for money, and she'll be at work and having to, go somewhere and do something. So then he'll go cheat on her and blame her for it. The same thing that he did to Mel. And eventually she'll be in the exact same position as Mel. You'll have hopefully created something for yourself that you could eventually leave him with, but you're gonna have been put in the same situation because men don't change when there are no repercussions for their actions, right? And as much as Mel leaving was a repercussion for his actions, the way he moved with Arionne thereafter did not prove to me that he all of a sudden respected her. It just felt like he needed her more because Mel was no longer there to offset for what he wasn't doing and wasn't getting. And then he still has all of these other relationships with women. You could tell that there's still other women in the chamber. Like, you can tell. And Arionne is just the one that does the most work for him. So she's the one that is most advantageous to come out with. If he really respected her, he'd have married her already. First of all, if he really wanted her like that. He doesn't really want her like that because he sees her as beneath him and beneath Mel. He wanted somebody that was going to be able to rival Mel. But it's hard to find a woman like that to run for your bullshit once they've seen what you did to the first one. Once they saw what you did to Mel, it was harder for you to get that caliber of woman. So now you have to build a bitch. Now you got to build a bitch. And she's so happy to get you. She's going to be like the disassociated, I wanted him so bad. And eventually I'm going to be reaping what I sowed. Like, there's no other way around it. We'll talk in a few years. We'll talk in maybe like 10 years and we're all still here and we'll see what happens. But just like I saw that shit happening with Jackie Christie and her daughter, I am seeing at some point Arionne having to deal with the fact that she will become Mel. She will become the woman who she sought to help destroy. So she'll then hate herself for that. And guess who will probably be the first one to really hold up a mirror to her? It'll probably be the daughter that she in some ways has probably neglected so that she could run behind Martell. I don't know, y'all see the behaviors that people are doing that cause harm to their kids. But yeah, you can see it on the front end with Arionne here, or you can see it on the back end with Jackie Christie. Figure it out for yourself, girl. I can't lead you to the water. All right. So because I feel like I'm drawing it together for you, but you got to choose to see it. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be trying to reprimand Martell for the things that he did with that interview we just watched. Martell is not going to care. Martell doesn't give a fuck. Y'all think Martell has like empathy and all of this shit, but he doesn't. Martell's a sociopath. Like, I don't think y'all know how many people are lacking in this empathetic part of their brain. Bless you. Here's a trick. Yawn in front of people and watch and see who yawns when you yawn. If they don't yawn, they got a lack of empathy. Okay? That's just a trick. All right? But ultimately, to me, he comes off like a sociopath. And I think sociopaths are like really sometimes raised. I think some psychopaths are born, but I think sociopaths are raised. Like people that give their kids a lot of everything and their kids are kind of like unemotional over the year. Like it's a hormonal like brain thing. But I also feel like it can be reinforced when it comes to men and how they're socialized. So like the way some Black men are constantly pitied and the way people will try to save them from the ramifications of their actions, like that, it causes a stunted growth, right? So people like Martell have had mothers and people that wanted him to play a sport or wanted him to be a gigolo or whatever the fuck. And they will have made excuses for his bad behavior so much in his life that he will eventually learn that he doesn't have to be a good person because he'll always be able to get away with fucking over people. He'll be able to smile and be, give people the energy he thinks that they want from him, and they will then be on his side. Like that's kind of how he's been going through his entire life. Yes, coddling and enabling. I think it creates a lack of empathy and a me, it's all about me type of thing. And I think men are more inclined, especially Black men, because of how racism has affected the Black community. There's been so much coddling of Black men in order to offset for this negative shit that happens outside of the household, that they now at large kind of act like big ass fucking babies because everybody has been trying to protect them from falling. Because if they fall, they may not be able to get back like the white boys can. But it still creates, to me, some type of sociopathy in their in their shit. I think it fucks them up in their shit when you don't like allow for them to hit their knee when they fall. Let them make bad decisions so that they can see how making those bad decisions is going to eventually catch up to them. Like, you have to let them feel bad. And a lot of y'all don't want to let these kids feel bad about shit. And one thing I can tell you, man, my mama used to be real good at telling you some shit. And like, I had a white kid moment one time, y'all. I told my mom I hated her and I wish that she died. I was mad about something. So I can't even remember how old I was. I wasn't that old, but she says to me, I want you to go in your room and I want you to think about if I actually was gone. I might have been gone 5 minutes. 10 minutes tops. Come back into the room crying, Mommy, I'm sorry. Because I actually went and thought about it. And that was terrifying to me. I would never say anything like that to her again. And not only that, but I would never say anything like that to anybody if I didn't really mean it. I don't say shit that I can't take back. I might say a lot of shit that people don't like, but I mean the shit that I say. And I can't apologize. And if I do apologize, it's because I really genuinely mean it, not because I'm trying to placate your emotions. Because if I've said it normally, I've gotten myself to the point of not giving a fuck about how you gonna feel about it already. So when that lady told me that and I had to go sit with that, that was a lesson I learned at a very young age. Don't you ever say shit you don't really mean. And don't ever say mean shit like that to your mom, man. That's wild. Okay. So yeah, y'all, you gotta let your kids feel bad sometimes. Not in a way where you like always using that on them, because some of y'all do that a lot. All that guilt tripping y'all do on y'all kids and shit. Not like that, but you gotta teach them lessons through allowing them to feel their pain. But yeah, stop raising Martells and shit. Stop raising Martells. Stop raising Destinies. Like, stop raising these kids that y'all are trying to make up for something. So y'all like allow them to be little assholes and shit sometimes. I see that a lot, y'all. In Black households, in the hood, I see a lot of times they let kids that they might feel like is the prettier kid, or they might like that kid better. So they let that kid be disrespectful and say all kind of wild shit. Okay? But then if it's another kid, then all of a sudden they won't snap back into you stay in the child's place and all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. Ken and Marquez, whatever the fuck, have a man-to-man conversation. Trisha doesn't trust Marquez, and the men will progress much faster than she will with Marquez. Marquez wants to know when. Okay, so I don't know why we going through this. Let me do this one. I don't know why we going through this, but y'all, Marquez is a psycho. Marquez is a psycho. Trisha is emotionally and mentally stunted as far as growth. That's why she has all of that nervous energy and all of that. She's not still within herself. I think she works out as much as she does because she has a lot of trauma and a lot of energy moving around in her body that she hasn't figured out a way to deal with. So she works out like people drink and smoke and shit. Like, that's her way of trying to dull whatever is going on inside of her. But she needs to do some work. Like, bitch, you need to go on a retreat. You need to go and do something where you can get control of yourself and start to see how you play a part in these arguments. Because on real nigga shit, I want you to know that nigga Marquez is a psycho, and you have every right to be agitated and angry when he comes into your space and does this weirdo shit that he does. Because I was picking up on every single thing that Marquez was doing. The coming into the room and looking at everybody but staying quiet, not saying anything for real, then acting like somebody did something to him by even discussing him, when at the end of the day you've done shit to be discussed. You just walked in somebody else's house and as if they supposed to not be doing what they doing in they fucking house. Then you were being hypersensitive and at the same time trying to act like you weren't being hypersensitive with the friend. Okay. But the thing for me is that Once you realize that niggas are feeding off of this type of energy, you have to stop playing into the fight. Because when you play into the fight, they feel like you care. And they're going to continue this thing where they try to goat you and bait you into fights, because that's the only way they can get you to actually engage with them. They're a literal troll. Like, that's what trolling looks like in real life. To keep gaslighting and trying to upset a person, acting as if you're the nice communal one and she's the problem. No, you're an asshole. You're an asshole, okay? The conversation really was about the fact that you're in town, but you're not really coming to see the kids until the cameras are around. That's why you came into the house all weird and shit, because the cameras were there. And you want to be in front of the cameras because you think you cute. Because you light skinned with some fucking freckles. So you think you pretty because the hoe's been lying to you your whole life. You think you pretty and shit. So you want to be in front of the fucking camera, right? So you want to start fights and arguments so that you can stay on camera and so that you can give the people the moment that they want, right? And Trisha, you emotionally out of control of yourself. So instead of shutting that shit down and stop emotionally buying into the fight, you engage with the shit. And then when your son got to come in there and be the adult, which really breaks my heart. And I really hate when a kid has to be the parent in the situation, because the parents are immature as fuck and don't know how to act like adults, don't know how to emotionally soothe and regulate their motherfucking self. So they come into the room and they disrupt everything. And now the child has to come downstairs and parent his weird ass parents. I hate that shit. I do. And that's what I feel like happened when Marquez says that Trisha is breaking the kids down and she's ruining the kids. And so she then starts to call her son's name Xavier. Is that true, Xavier? Girl, don't be asking Xavier to validate or invalidate no bullshit that man telling you so he can upset you. Come on. That's why my critique of Trisha is always to grow up, because how she is handling this is an extension of the fact that she is still so immature as a woman. And I want her to get out of that, because I do feel like she's been fucked over. And I do feel like being in a long-term relationship with that man had to fuck her brain up. Being with him since high school had to have always been something that fucked with her head. Like, you can't tell me no different. The way he engages with everybody, that nigga is a soul suck, an emotional vampire. He is emotionally manipulative at every turn. Every interaction that I see him have on camera is him trying to invoke sympathy or be validated by other people in a way that a grown-ass man should not need to be. I don't care what y'all are talking about. And I feel like Trisha needs therapy. Trisha needs to deal with her emotions, and Trisha needs to stop using shit as a scapegoat. Because I'm sure I'm going to have to be digging in her ass later on this season. But I can still see how in that scene, when he comes into her house, it's like, how are you not supposed to respond in anger to this nigga? Like, I get it. I absolutely get it. But what I also understand is that you being upset like that is the goal. And once you realize that the goal is to get you upset, your goal needs to be how to not be upset. Yeah, watching it play out is tiring. I also feel like, have y'all not had relationships with people like this? Because I think sometimes when we talk about these reality shows, and I'm talking in a passionate manner, everybody wants to feel like, oh, it's just a reality show. Y'all get yourselves all upset over a reality show. And it's like, well, bitch, that's how media works, okay? Like, if we're not emotionally invested, then it's boring and we're not engaged. If we're watching it and we're engaged in some way, it's because we can relate to it, because we've seen it in real life, not just because we're only seeing it on the television and we're getting upset about something that's not real. Bitch, this is not Harry Potter, okay? This is not like, even the Disney movies have their effects in real life, because messaging matters. Okay, messaging and narrative matters. It affects the people who watch it. It's also a reflection of the time. It's a reflection of what's happening in real life. Whether you understand how media works or not, because a lot of y'all think y'all understand how this shit works, but the truth of the matter is you don't understand how historically every piece of media, books, plays, movies, and now streamers, YouTube, TikTok, everything is a reflection of the time and what is happening, the thought process, the emotions, the dynamics, whatever's going on in the time is going to be reflected through our media. And so you can believe that these things are detached from reality, when the reason why we're emotionally invested in this is because we can recognize it from personal experience, which means it's happening in real life, which means what we're actually upset about is the behaviors we're seeing, not the fucking people, not the storyline being created and all of that. It's what we're seeing from the people. And another thing is some of these people have been on reality TV for long enough that we now understand how their personalities work, because there's no way you can lie about who you are for that long. Cracks always show, people always see it. And some of y'all, like the men and women on this show, are so disassociated that you can't even see how you look. Like, you can't possibly see how you look. So they don't have the wherewithal to hide anything from us because they are not really aware of how bad this shit actually looks. They really weren't. As long as they've been doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, the people on the show have been acting as if the critiques of them have been all a lie. And it's not until recent seasons that they've had to actually admit to some things in order for this to persist, because reality shows only work when the people on them are honest enough to be vulnerable with the fucked up things they're going through in their lives. But people on this show have been allowed to escape that because Mel and Martell were doing all the heavy lifting. Now that Mel is gone and they have to rely on themselves, it will create a more entertaining full show if they're actually forced to deal with things, if their producers are actually doing their jobs. Okay. And this, to me, this should be the last season. This should be the test of if this should be the last season. Because to me, if y'all are going to continue to use social media as a scapegoat now that Mel is no longer there, then people are just going to continue to disengage from the show. And when we stop reviewing it completely, and trust me, it's on the way, people are not engaging with the content, then nobody's going to want to see the show anymore. And you could come back, but it's still not going to get the same numbers. And eventually you'll get canceled anyway, because these shows only have a certain amount of time to be on air as it is. And y'all are dragging the shit. So if it doesn't get real, if it doesn't get authentic, if it doesn't stop using everything but itself as a scapegoat, the show is going to perish. It's already there, to be honest. So we'll just see how it all plays out. But I'm really not in a mood. This is why this show is behind a paywall, because not only are the people on the show extremely volatile when it comes to the way people talk about, critique, whatever, like they engage too heavily with this shit. It's going to be combative. People are going to say negative things about you. Stop reading the comments. Stop engaging with the shit. You can't control how people see you. If you don't want to be seen this way, all you have to do is get out of the contract, get off the show. That's all you have to do. But this whole let's abuse the viewership because they don't like how we show up, like, I'm not, and I'm saying abuse because I do feel like y'all, trying to sue everybody, y'all, doing fake ass award shows, trying to shade people, falling flat, looking corny and shit. Like y'all just be doing, y'all be, and talking about integrity and black excellence, and then being like a show with more mug shots than Love and Hip Hop. It's wild. It's wild. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay? Don't shoot the messenger. So the Fletchers discuss Lance and Chris having new babies. Both of the sons have new kids. And it has caused a shift in the Fletchers' relationship because they're not able to spend as much time together as they was before. So that's upsetting Chris. That means Nell better get back to popping pussy or she might be getting cheated on again. All right. Martell comes over. Nell was set up at an event where she was speaking to Arionne, and it was caught in a picture. And the way she was cheesing, it looked like she was so happy to meet Martell's side piece. And of course, that's going to be posted on the internet to make Mel see that this bitch ain't your friend. Like, and I do understand that is the truth. These people are not her friends, and that is okay. It is okay that people really just wanted to be on the reality show. And now that Mel is no longer there, she can remove herself from these relationships. And it's okay that they didn't work out. It's okay. We can just move on. It's fine. You know, it doesn't make anybody a bad guy, girl. It just didn't work out. But I can see people wanting to be messy and keep bringing Mel into shit that Mel doesn't want to even deal with anymore. So yeah, I just, you know, I'm looking at Miss Nell like I think you're about to be made to be the next scapegoat on some level. That's what I'm feeling with this as well. But yeah, y'all all are gonna act like that around Martell and his side piece because y'all are male centered and y'all care about the men so much and y'all want to be cool with the men. Y'all don't want to hurt the men's feelings. Y'all don't want them to be upset with y'all. Even though you get into these arguments with them, there is still a level of I want him to still like me. I want him to still be okay with me. So I'm going to, you know, be cool in the moments, and I'm gonna not give a fuck about being around him and his side piece. I'm just gonna not want to be pictured and it not be used against me with Mel because I would still like to have access to Mel because Mel is a very good person to have access to. But you know, I also want to keep having access to Martell for some reason because I really value people with penises. You know, they're amazing. And if they're halfway decent looking, you know, I'm like a creepy old man. Like I just want you to like me. Okay. So that's what it's giving. Martell says he would never do that. And he says that he deserves an apology. And so Nell apologizes. This all felt like proverbially sucking dick. Like not literally, but proverbially. Like it felt like in actuality, you did not owe him an apology. And he actually probably did do that shit on purpose. And you apologizing to him felt like you were bowing down to him in some way, like he was dominating you, like you were allowing him in this moment to dominate you and your husband. Like y'all are both sitting there allowing this super duper senior to like dominate you with a lie. And it's very interesting. Like it's so interesting to watch it's seemingly smart people bend to the will of idiots. It's so interesting to watch. Like it needs to be studied. I'm sure it is. I have to find the book. So yeah, then they discuss how Tisha went on Carlo's show and said that Martell was fucking men. They don't bring it up on the show, but I'm going to bring it up because that's what was really said, that he fucks men. It wasn't a threat. That's what she said that made him go and do that interview with that side piece. So Ken and Trish have gotten their own gym. That's very smart. I think that's great. Marquez is saying that he's going to be around more, but they are not seeing it. And then, you know, we have this scene, of course, that I talked about already with Trisha's homegirl and Sharon doesn't like him. She's heard all of the things. He comes in, you know, she does have, you know, well, I do have questions. Like, and there is, okay, we're on a reality show and it is satisfying when people who do bullshit behind the scenes get held to the carpet in front of everybody. So embarrassing Marquez, especially when Marquez seems to want it in order to be on camera, like he wants the confrontation. It's kind of satisfying when someone will come in and either best or dominate the person that's trying to do the dominating, but they really aren't smart enough to do it. But what they've learned ever since they were a child is that all they have to do is wear people down. The men who learned when they were 5, 6 years old that all they had to do was to be consistent and keep asking, keep annoying, keep circling back around to the same thing over and over again. Once they learn that tactic, That is the way they have gotten through most things in their life, by continuing to say the same thing over and over again, continuing to have the same circular argument, just continuing to not give up until you cave, until you give in. That's how we get coercive sex and all of that. Like, you being like, I feel like most women have experienced not wanting to have sex, but because the man continues to ask or pride or do things that would lead to sex, like touching you, putting their dick on you, taking your clothes off, like, even though you're saying no, they just continue to do those things until you just let them. And that's how we get a lot of coercive sex. But y'all don't want to like link that back to the way, especially boys, learn that all they have to do is wear their mothers down by continuing to ask the same question over and over again until you cave. It's a manipulative tool. And once you realize that it's being used against you, you really need to learn how to like nip that shit in the bud and stand on business with these niggas. You really need to learn how to do that when they are very young, because what that teaches them is that that's all they have to do in order to get their way, is to keep at it. And it will eventually work a lot of the times because the girls are being groomed in order to be susceptible to this shit. Like, it is what it is. So yeah. Y'all, you know, we just having conversations. Okay. So I feel like what we're seeing with Marquez is like the example of that. And I do want to say that as much as y'all love to like, because I hate this argument and I see it on social media all the time, with y'all acting like the men that came from single parent households, like the women that raised them because they're overly emotional and they act like bitches, it's because they didn't have a man around. And I really feel like, as a woman raised in a 2-parent household that has been around mostly boys that were raised in 2-parent households, y'all have no idea what the fuck y'all are talking about. I feel like a lot of times when people have never had an experience, they really overestimate the other side of the grass. They overestimate it. To be honest, the men learn these tactics much earlier because the men are there to teach them these tactics. How to act like a fucking toddler and keep asking and keep annoying somebody and whining about something until you get your way, and then act as if that's not what you're doing. Keep the lie alive. Men teach their sons, their nephews, they teach them how to emotionally manipulate women at a very young age. So it's very weird the way y'all act like having a father in a household means that the man is gonna grow up and be all of the things. When the truth of the matter is, what I've seen is that those are some of the most problematic men. Some of the most emotionally manipulative, bummy niggas came from a 2-parent household and have fathers that they can call to do the things that they don't feel like doing. They have mothers that they can call because those mothers have babied them because they were the boy or they were the youngest or whatever. I have more often seen like people that grew up in single parent households having a better handle on their emotions sometimes than people that grew up with 2 parents. Like, I'm sorry, but like, that shit doesn't always work like that. It does not always work that just because both parents was in the household, that meant some special shit was happening in there. Like, that's not always the case, y'all. Okay? Men are a lot of the times emotionally unavailable, and the way they have learned to relate to women is how they relate to their kids and their families. Like, acting like they're always upset about something so that you will be walking on eggshells around them. It's a way for them to already be dominating and controlling how you are acting at all times, not allowing you to feel your feelings and be a human being, but teaching you how to put their feelings ahead of yours. It then starts to affect the way you handle men and boys in relationships. Like, I know, everybody be liking to think that it's just some bullshit, that how you are raised and what happens in your household affects you when you become an adult. But I'm like, I don't know how else you think any of this shit's happening. Like, the experiences are making you who you are, whether you understand that or not. I don't get it. But sometimes having a male in the household that is not healthy can be worse than not having him there at all. Sorry. This is the truth. Okay. What else? Because y'all know, Marquez be acting like he's so fucking special because he came from a 2-parent household and all of that. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about with that. We'll see how this goes with them. But Trisha, needs to grow the fuck up, because the fact that you keep letting that slow ass nigga bait you into these arguments is a testament to the fact that you're not where you need to be, sis. You need to do better. Okay. And he's a psycho. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. He's using those kids when he can just up and leave them. I think he emotionally manipulates those children. I think they love him because they're his kids, but essentially he just left them when it suited him. Just dropped off the face of the earth, and then wants to come back now and use the kids as a way to encroach on the wife's life. Even though, yes, I do believe to some degree she enjoys this back and forth with him. I do. But I also feel like it's like the remnants of being in the abusive relationship, is that you really have had your brains like really screwed up when it comes to how you relate to that person. And how you relate to them being your children's father. Like, all of that adds this sentimentality to a toxic relationship. And even having to keep him in your life in order for him to be there for the children is really more than you should have to do. But people always want you to make space for some nigga to come and fuck up your kids even more because he's unhealed. So he's only going to cause trauma. But everybody feels like, oh, he's the dad, he deserves to be there. I don't really agree with that. I don't think people deserve to fuck their kids up just because they're the parent. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Sometimes I feel like some of y'all really should not have access to your children, especially if you're only going to exploit them and use them as a way to harm the other parent. And that goes both ways. Okay. And I feel like, it's really annoying to watch people put their kids through this type of bullshit, because everybody wants to keep this lie alive that these niggas need to be here for the kids, even when they themselves are manipulative, fucked up, sociopathic, and don't really care about anybody but themselves. And the only reason that they show any type of emotion towards their kids is because their kids are emotionally enmeshed with them. And their kids make them feel like somebody loves them and validates them, especially at this age. You could run off during hard years of raising prepubescent teenagers and shit. You could run away. And now that their teenagers are damn near grown and they've probably romanticized the time of their life when you were actually around, yeah, they're going to be looking at you like they're just trying to get back to the father that they thought they remembered, but they were very young and probably didn't have a good grasp of what was going on even back then. Because niggas really will, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go take the kids and do something, and it makes the kid think that their dad wants to do something with them, but really it's because they want to use that to upset, bother, or like cause the mom some type of inconvenience. Like, I've just seen that over and over and over again. And what I have often seen is the reason why these relationships a lot of the times go downhill after you have kids is because men, and specifically men, are used to the relationships being all about them because of the way young girls are groomed and raised to make the relationships all about them, to make all of the emotional allowances for men that their mothers taught them to make. And so that's what they do. They go into these relationships making all of these emotional allowances for these young men until they end up being in the exact same situations. It is a terrible cycle. It's a terrible cycle, and it all connects. And it's very important that you look at the way your relationship shows you to your kids, because regardless to what you think you're teaching them, what you're showing them is what's really going to sink in. How they watch you fight for yourself or how they watch you betray yourself is really going to dictate how much they value themselves when they become adults. And how they value themselves is going to dictate what they are willing to put themselves and their bodies through before they understand what their value truly is. But if you are not the first person to be putting that in your child, they will definitely go out into the world looking for it. So you have to be very, very careful about how you focus on men and how you focus on relationships when you have children, especially girl children. Because they're going to be the ones that are going to end up at the hand of abusive men more often than not. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot that goes into it. But yeah, I think I can still girl, I think I can still make something out of it now. Whew, all that spiritual bypassing that nigga was doing, bringing his son into the situation. That man is not a good daddy, bro. I'm sorry. When people are not mature enough to put their bullshit aside to protect their children's psyches, like you're not a good parent, man. I'm sorry. When you use your kids like that, like just really pull your fucking kids into an argument that they don't need to be a part of. Upset their central nervous system so that you can have a gotcha bitch moment with their mama. Like that type of immaturity, my nigga, that's wild to me. That's wild that y'all think that, you know, those types of people should be parents just because they, you know, let off sperm inside a bitch. I really need for people to start seeing how these very menial acts of sex lead to children. Okay. You laid down and got fucked, you got pregnant. Yeah, spiritually, it was a whole thing for a soul to get here. But for you, bitch, it was just you getting off. Like, be fucking for real. Stop acting like the act of it was so sacred when you know it really wasn't. When y'all can be real about that, then y'all can be real about the fact that just because somebody gets pregnant, it does not mean that they should be a mother. I love y'all for real. All right, I'm done. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I'm trying to come 2 videos a day, Monday through Friday is what I'm trying to do. Y'all pray for me, okay? But I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.